Cool. All right. Well, good morning. An early one. Hope you got your coffee. Believe it or not, mine's almost done. And the guy you see on the screen there with me, uh, he probably needs 3 or 4 more cups of caffeine right at the moment because he's been up all night. All night. Marvin Buskman, thank you for coming on.
Close, Martin. You know I love you, Steve.
Steve, right? Mike.
See, it's early for you too, isn't it, Mike?
No, not really. I'm headed for Boston. Let me show everybody what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
If I can grab the screen right here, share. There we go. You should be able to see it. Yay. All right. It's time. And Marvin wants to go with me, but he's way out in Dayton, Ohio. So, and he hasn't gotten any.
Former Martin Luther. Sorry.
hasn't gotten any sleep yet.
Not yet.
So it's time for the National Men's March to abolish baby murder and rally for personhood. All pro-life people come join us. So 11 a.m. I'll be gathering with men, which I think is great that men are standing up and gathering, and they're putting on suits. We get on, dress sharp if you can. Men wear suits, priests and clerics. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've worked closely for, over 30 years with Catholic pro-life people, and so blessed by their consistency in this battle, and lots of success. Really, I mean, got to say, without them, and of course, evangelical Protestants, Trump never would have appointed those Supreme Court justices that overturned Roe v. Wade. I didn't you, Marvin, find that like, wow, it actually got overturned? Crazy.
It's amazing that Martin. This is an interesting story, Mike. I love Mike, by the way. We've become really good friends, so I gotta jab him a little bit. When the Dobbs, because it was the Dobbs case that overturned Roe v. Wade. I'll never forget, because my dear baby sister, Mike, is she's an old school liberal. She's liberal. Yep. She votes left. But my baby sister is smart as a tack. And I just remember, good night. It was a bad weekend, because that was the weekend that our mother had passed away from the ventilator on a Friday. And then 2 days later, she was supposed to go out to Colorado, where our big brother lived, to celebrate her birthday for a week. Chris was very generous. He lived by himself. And he had a really good job. So he and our baby sister was going to go out and spend the week celebrating her birthday in Las Vegas. And she gets off the plane at DIA, Denver International Airport, Mike, and our big brother was not there to receive her. Long story short, he passed away from the vaccine. So it was a bad weekend. Yeah, thanks. God gets me through, Mike. But here's to get back to the Dobbs case. Because of the inner turmoil, losing mom on Friday and then losing Chris on Sunday, when it come a couple months later, I believe it was June, wasn't it, Mike, that Dobbs was overturned?
Yeah, usually they release it late. They release those opinions late June, yeah.
Right. And if you remember right, brother, somebody leaked it. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
They leaked it. Somebody inside leaked the Dobbs case decision, which was in favor of overturning Roe v. Wade. So anyway, my brain's saying, Mike, it was in June of, that would have been 22. So anyway, my sister, she was livid, Mike. She was livid. She cussed me out. I had nothing to do, with the ruling, but it was just amazing how tense people were, including my baby sister, who shoots straight, but boy, she tied into me. She tied into me when that was passed. So, but
the propaganda since World War II weakened our minds so much. When I
Yeah.
was young, I had a hard time coming to the conclusion that abortion was baby murder early on, 30, 40 years ago. But Everett Koop, Francis Schaeffer, they got me.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Francis Schaeffer.
they kind of pointed me down that road, and then
He's a prince of a man, Francis Schaeffer. Yeah.
yeah, and then over the years, I just got more and more convicted about the issue, and one of the reasons they got so far the baby murderers got so far with it, with people like your sister, is they made masterful use of English words like abortion. Abortion is so vague, right?
Good point, Mike.
It turns your brain off. It's like, what's an abortion for?
Mhm.
So that's why I go with baby murder, because it strikes. It's like striking flint in order to light a fire.
Certainly.
If you get a good strike on that, you better chance of getting that fire lit.
It's amazing how powerful. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, you go. Go ahead.
It's just amazing, Mike, how powerful words are and how you join them in certain phrases to just, like you said, light a fire in your mind, because you can say a concept, let's just say 3 different ways. You want to open the door. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's ways that you could structure in the English language, especially an inflammatory way of saying that, a calm way of saying that, something that makes you happy, and I think it's amazing how our brains are wired to connect to our emotions, Mike. So,
Mm-hmm.
Wordsmithing is a high commodity in my understanding, and being a musician and writing very little lyrics, I've written only, I think, 3 songs max. There's a tactic. So using abortion, I got to touch this because some folks but don't know this. I had a dear couple. They were diagnosed, their baby was diagnosed with a terminal diagnosis. And the doctors told the 2 friends of mine, your baby's going to die very, very soon. We can deliver him. Would you like to do that? And the mother was, yes, please. Can we spend time with him? Will he be gone when he, exits, the birth canal? And the doctor said, no, he will be alive for a little while. And my dear friend was just like, okay, we want to do this. They called all their family, Mike. They took pictures. They all got to hold little Amalia. His name was Amalia. And he was only this big. I mean, he was tiny. I wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, in order for her, the mother, to deliver that child, believe it or not, guys, it was a DNC, an abortion. So I remember when I was talking to Jennifer Gross here in Ohio, the 45th district here in Ohio, she wrote a pretty strong bill. Mike, you'd be proud of Jennifer Gross. I was talking to her. I said, Jennifer, you got to understand, we can't blanket all abortions because of my friend's case. But here's the thing, guys. That is such a rarity. It doesn't happen I forget the statistic. The mom told me it once, but it's very, very, very rare. But I would think if you're going to
good
legislation, make sure that piece is in the legislation. Go ahead, Mike.
So good points. I want to thank GR8Graham24 for reposting this stream on X. So thank you very much to that account. And Marvin, so I had you on because you texted me yesterday about having a season pass at a local theme park and getting into trouble. So what happened? What'd you do now?
That's funny. It seems like when you wear Jesus all over yourself, trouble finds you, Mike. That's all I can say. So it's called Kings Island. I brought the letters for your podcast, Mike, just to show you. As a matter of fact, you'll find this interesting. I crossed my name. This is the first one that they sent me. I crossed my name out. Yeah, please don't spam me. There's my home address. And I put Jesus Christ on it because I was like, I'm going to put Jesus's name and just tell the Lord, hey, you handle this. I was completely innocent. If you're familiar with swatting, folks, swatting is where you call the police on your neighbor because you don't like them.
Mm-hmm.
And you conjure up a story like, hey, I think I saw Mike and Martin bringing in weapons in Mike's house. I can't prove it, police department, but that's what I think. Immediately, the police have to respond. And if the perpetrator says, I think it was AK-47s with bump stocks and stuff, they'll send out the SWAT team, hence the name SWATing, S-W-A-T. So I was talking to, the first time I was wearing a hat. These incidents, Mike, are about maybe 3 weeks apart from each other. The first time it happened was I was videotaping this ride and I was going to make a joke to my son because my son and I just love the park. We love Kings Island. I've been going to Kings Island since I was this tall with my grandfather and dad. And so I just passed on the tradition to my son and my daughter. And anyway, I was going to remake, where I threw up in the trash can. My son just laughs at that every time we ride this ride. But here was the thing. I can't prove any of this, guys, but I was wearing a red hat with white stitching on it. Guess what it said? Take a guess, Mike. A red hat with white stitching on it. What did it say?
MAGA?
Negative. That's what I wanted to do on Mike's podcast. It did not say Make America Great Again. It said Red Racer.
Mm-hmm.
After the Kings Island's own Red Racer roller coaster. So my theory is, Mike, and it's just a theory, and I want this, out on Twitter and for your podcast listeners. My theory is somebody saw that and just assumed, just like you did, Mr. Heath. Oh my gosh, that's a MAGA supporter. I'm going to get him. Him. Can't prove any of this, but all I know is I'm walking and as I'm shutting off my phone, it goes down to the ground. Well, right before I hit it completely, shut off, hit the record button, stop to where it would stop recording. Right. 2 young ladies, 3 guys, some little kids crossed in front of my view from the phone. And I brought it down to the ground. Before I brought it down to the ground, Mike, I heard this probably 22-year-old college age young man say, please don't film my girlfriend. And I didn't listen to him at first. I was like, who's he talking to? Please don't film my girlfriend. And I realized he was talking to me. And I said, I wasn't filming your girlfriend, dude. I'm filming the ride. I was filming the ride. Next thing okay, he says, I just wanted to make sure. So I'm going over to the other park, other side of the park to ride another roller coaster. When all of a sudden I get swatted. Probably 11, 12 of not police, the inside park security. And what ended up happening is I was like, why are you what's up? And anyway, they asked me about impropriety and things like this. And I said, there was no impropriety. Well, you did something at a ride and we got a couple reports saying that you did this. I said, well, number one, is it where I was bringing my phone down to the floor on the last ride I was just on before you guys swatted me? I didn't say SWAT. And by the way, I was very, very considerate and kind. And they said, as a matter of fact, yeah. I said, the young man, we already had, understanding. He thought, anyway, okay. He says, well, then what's your name? Said the security member, and let us have your seasons pass. I said, hold on, for what? Long story short, I end up getting escorted out of the park because I did not give the security team my name and my ticket information, whether I was a season pass holder or a ticket holder. So on my way being shame walked, Mike, this is the first instance, shame walked all the way from the back of the park to the gate where the security members have their lights on me, and they're walking me out, shame walking me. The young man named Alexander says, "Sir, I'm sorry this is happening. My dad is experiencing the same thing." I said, "Alexander, I'm going to say this to you. Be careful, because it seems like in today's culture, it seems like white male Christians are targets." He goes, "My dad does the same thing." I said, "Well, protect yourself, because you're a young man." He was in his probably late teens, because he was a UC, University of Cincinnati, engineering student. I said, "You get that degree, Alexander. You're going to have a great time. UC is a good school." And he says, "It was really nice meeting you, sir." I said, "I'll see you next week. I'll see you next week. I'm coming back, and maybe I'll have my son with me this time." And by the way, Mike, what I paid for was the season's pass that covers the whole year of 26 and the year that I bought it, the remainder of 25, plus I think it's $150 addition, so that I can eat twice a day, for every day that I go to Kings Island next year in 26. And I bought the drink pass. I think that was another $40. So altogether,
so then you had another incident, right?
I did. So, but I wanted to make sure that your listeners was clear.
Alexander was he was one of the security guards.
He was.
That escort.
He was the one. Yeah.
Okay.
He was the one that was
Okay.
my main. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead with the second instance. I know that you're.
The second one was.
I know you're getting long in the tooth here, having been up all night. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm a storyteller, so thanks, Mike. I appreciate the reeling in. Plus, I like to get all the details in, so that everybody can properly assess what really happened. So the second one, I'm talking to some teenagers in the big roller coaster called the Orion, and I'm having a great conversation with these kids, and they were underage. They were probably 16, 17 years old, and I'm a youth minister at heart, and I used to actually be an actual paid youth minister. So I'm all about Jesus. Now, on that day, Mike, I was wearing this shirt.
Yep, I'm a Christian. Are you going to shoot me too? Good
one.
one.
Now, this is the back. I wanted to put that for your listeners. That's what's on the back.
I love that shirt.
That was designed by, well, I give credit to God, everybody, but I've got a bunch of these kinds of shirts. So if you want one, contact me. Because I make ministry money via these T-shirts. Anyway, so I was wearing this.
So while you're telling this story, I just want to look up your website so we can show it on the screen. What is
Sure. Well, I don't have a website, but I do have a Rumble channel. It's called The Buskman Report, and I got it on
that's
my.
All you, yeah, so that's what you've got is
yes.
a Rumble channel. The Buskman.
Yes, with a K.
Yeah, got it. And all right, so now, keep talking. Keep telling the story.
Several stories that you can actually your viewers can actually hear on this. The second one, guys, I recorded it with my phone on the voice recorder, and you guys are going to love what you hear. So go to the story, the episode that I named "To Pursue or Not to Sue." That is the question, and it's got a crusader, a tired crusader, because that's what I felt like, a tired crusader. And then you can see the one with the gold pass. That's a follow-up. So I get swatted for talking to these kids, and we were having a great conversation. And once again, I was like, well, what's going on, Martin? This is crazy. This is like 2 weeks in a row. This time I got put in the interrogation room. And same thing, I would not give them my name or my ticket information. And when you go to pursue or not to sue, that's the question. You'll hear the head security member say, it's Ohio law that you can keep your information to yourself, but we're going to kick you out for 1 year. You can't come back for a year. Now, that's what this envelope says. So this is what I did, Mike. I got all my friends, and I love each and every one of you who sent an email on my behalf. They emailed the heads of these kids.
Now,
And
I missed a point. So let's go back. So you ended up in the interrogation room. What? So the teenagers ratted you out or something? Or that? Yeah.
No,
Okay.
no. Oh, good point. Good point. No, these, and I call them. At first, they were very good citizens. They were concerned mothers who thought that I was a creep. Yeah. So they leaned in past me and talked, because there were girls, not just boys in there. And I even thanked her. I said, you know what, that was nice of you. You know, because if that was, you know, my daughter, who's about these kids' age, and with her buddies, you know, and a guy was talking to him, I'd be a little bit concerned about that. So thanks for doing that. Well, come to find out, that wasn't. They wanted to stop me completely from talking to these kids, and I said, but I'm a youth minister, and they said, not at Kings Island. You don't do ministry at Kings Island. Both these women said that. I said, where did you read that in the Word? Because my Bible says in 1 Peter, be ready in season and out of season. So I got to put my Christianity on hold, ma'am, until I get out of, you know, this amusement park. I said, you don't know me very well. She started to get indignant. She says, well, this is inappropriate. You need to stop. My husband wouldn't do it, and you just need to stop. I said, listen, mind your business. I'm getting people to Christ. The days are short. I don't call the day that I don't minister. God does. And you know when that is, Mike? When I'm asleep. That's when I'm not ministering. So anyway, it just made these ladies really mad. It really made them mad. So they call for a free rider. You know, is there anybody in the line that's got two or whatever? And these kids ahead of us said, hey, there's a guy back here. He's riding by himself. And I said, yeah, I'm ready to go. So the kids was like, yeah, come on up. And the little attendant was like, yeah, if you're just a single rider, come on up. You can get on the train now. And as I passed the women, they said, bye. Bye. I said, see ya. And these kids said, can we ride with you, sir? I said, absolutely, guys. I love this ride. You're going to love it too. We had a great time riding the Orion. Get off the Orion, the kids wave. And I said, you guys be safe. Have a good one. You know, we talked about Jesus. And next thing I know, I'm getting swatted. And that's when I went to the interrogation room. And you can find, I won't go to my channel and watch to pursue or not to sue. That is the question. And you'll hear the actual interrogation. I recorded the whole thing. So once again, yeah, well, I did. I finally got smart on that. And after the first one, Mike, I was like, Martin, don't dance with this. You know, this may end up in a literal courtroom. Now, once again, Mike Heath podcast. No police were involved in any of these situations. It was only the in-house little security crew. You know, the police didn't get nearly involved. In fact, the one main supervisor in the interrogation room says, I don't know why they shipped security over to the Orion. But the reason we're getting you is because you refuse to tell the people investigating you your name and your ticket status. I said, it's for me, I did nothing wrong. So admitting my name and my ticket status is like admitting guilt in an indirect way. I'm guilty of doing nothing inappropriate. Nothing. If there was, Mason police would be involved right now. And this man was like, yeah, that is right. Well, you're gone for a year. What? A year? Yep, you're gone for a year. Listen to the report. Now, so I'm getting back to, instead of taking it to litigation as of right now, this is what I did. I'm exhausting all forms of diplomacy. And I learned this from the Old Testament, between Jacob and his brother Esau, Mike. So when you read that story, it told me exactly what to do in this case. So what I did is I had my friends email the general manager and the three adult leaders over security at Kings Island. By the way, I love Kings Island. And guys, if you come around, you've got forgiveness waiting on you. I'm not going to hold a grudge. Anyway, October 20th, Mike, let me read this if you don't mind, and then you have the microphone. How are we doing on time, Mike?
We're fine. I'm amazed you're still awake. Go ahead.
Yep. So this was dated, Mike, October 20th, 2025. Now, look at this, my brother. They sent this certified mail, $6. They paid $6.04. Now, this one, when they let me go for a year, was free. I don't know why they did this certified. I'm thinking they sent it to an attorney because they're waiting for me to go to litigation. October 20th, 2025. Dear Martin, this letter is to notify you that the ban from all Six Flags Entertainment Corporation properties issued to you via email on 10/9/2025, but they didn't realize that they sent me in hard copy too, and sent to you via well, there it is. Sent to you via USPS has been extended to that of a lifetime ban.
Mm-hmm.
You are not permitted on Kings Island or any other Six Flags Entertainment Corporation property for the remainder of your lifetime. You may not return to Kings Island or any other Six Flags Entertainment Corporation property for any reason, nor may you purchase seasons passes, tickets, or any other means of entry for any Six Flags Entertainment Corporation property. If
How
you
did
are
they get
found,
how did they get your information so that they could write you?
I love you. You are such a sleuth. Way to go. I wondered that too. The only thing I can think of, Mike, is they do have in certain areas of the park surveillance cameras. Can you say Palantir?
Oh, really? So
Surveillance
you never gave them your name, your address, your email address.
Never gave them any of those
Yeah.
times that I was swatted. Yeah.
You never gave them any personally identifiable information. But
Negative.
of course, they have it because you purchased the season pass. But
That's
they had
how
to, yeah, they had to link the two things together. Yeah,
you got it. Now, if you want, I can read the letter, but I think it makes the point.
But they had to, so they had to access your image in order to make the connection.
Listen to that.
I'm guessing that when you purchase the season pass, this is not a photo ID, right? This is not a photo ID operation.
No, but in their system, Mike, you do have to submit a photograph of your face in order to get the pass. Yes.
Oh, okay. So they could have done it internally.
Yeah.
They could have looked at the surveillance cameras and then
that's my theory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the police were never involved in either of the swattings. It was just this group.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. So they cross-referenced their own database.
Correct.
There wouldn't be evidence here to suggest that they used a Palantir service.
They might have. No, I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. But is this, honestly, Mike, is this a coming attraction for things to come here in the United States of America, the surveillance state?
Well, there's a lot of interesting aspects to the situation, you know. So, like you had already admitted, you know, the mother's being concerned about this stranger, you know, talking to the underage young ladies, etc. So you got that to deal with, and then this, and you were standing. So this place is definitely a public accommodation because it's it's a theme park. So I'm sure where the ground they're going to stand on is while it's a public accommodation, it's private. You know, it's not a government. It's not a government entity. it's a private entity, a private corporation, so they have a right to their own rules, et cetera,
That's
et cetera,
exactly
et
what I
cetera.
was told, Mr. Heath. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So that you're not going to really, even if you litigate, you're number one, you're not going to have the money to match them. And
That's true.
number
But my
right.
God is an awesome God. He reigns in heaven and earth with wisdom,
Right.
power. My God is an awesome God.
Right. So another interesting facet to this is religious speech.
Speak
Because yeah, in the second incident, that was clearly at issue, is your right to include your religious convictions in speech with these young people. And so the question is just, is that a right anymore, or is that not a right? Or if it isn't a right, if it isn't a legal right if it isn't a legal right that's protected in the United States of America under the First Amendment, which is where it's mentioned, then what are we talking about here? What's going on? Of course, they're going to hang their hat on the fact that they were underage. And
but here's my stay though, Mike. If the swatters talked to the boys and the girls, I can't imagine them lying, saying he was not inappropriate at all to me or me. All he talked about was old rock and roll songs and Jesus. Because that's all
these women, you have no evidence to indicate that these women were actually the mothers of these young people.
They were not. Good point.
Good
point. No, they were not. The ladies, I don't know. They were somewhere in behind me. I don't know how many people behind, but the gaggle of teens was in front of me, and they came up, brushed my shoulder, and said, "Are you guys okay? Come back here and talk to me." And the one just gave me the stink eye, and I knew what was going on.
And the thing that bothers me the most about this is that it's linked to this obsession that the United States has now with pedophilia.
Yeah.
And so my point is, my point is, you're an older white guy with a weird looking beard and kind of a scruffy appearance, wearing loud T-shirts.
I make scruffy look good.
Yeah, there you go. So you get my point, though. I mean, everybody, mothers, especially women, whatever, they're just terrified of the idea of pedophilia.
Grooming. Yeah.
Grooming. And it's good to be terrified of that. It's a very bad thing. It's
immoral.
That's why
I can't. Mike, I said, you know what? If that was my daughter, thank you, but you're wrong.
Yeah. And we used to have a saying in America. It's kind of disappeared now, but I'd love to bring it back. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Thank you.
Don't judge a book by its cover. So what's happening to us in America? Here you have discourse that's mutual, right? You're talking about old rock and roll songs. These young people are like thinking, "Hey, man, this old dude, he's a little bit coolish kind of thing, and whatever." And
actually, the one young lady, if I can interject, she opened up the conversation, and I'm real jovial. Guys, if you're my friend, I don't even know you, and you're my friend until you prove me probably several times not to be your friend. That's the kind of mindset I am. And this young lady turns around and she starts talking about an old rock song. And I said, "Hey, I know that song. I actually saw them in concert." And she goes, "Well, I can play the lead guitar half speed, but I can play that whole lead." I said, "That's one of the most intricate leads ever in rock history. You can do that?" She goes, "Yep." She goes, "I can only go half speed." That was the instigation. That's what got us talking. And then obviously I try to weave every little conversation into God, because we got to get people to Christ. Bottom line, we're approaching the last day, and every Christian should be doing the work of the ministry. But so many
it's like America is losing its mind. It's losing its mind. It's going crazy. It's going insane. And it seems to be doing so based upon sex and religion. If you get close to either of those topics, now people go insane. It's like they run, they're afraid, they're like, ah, come on. Come on, people. These are two very real human things. Let's not panic here.
Funny little it just came to me. Thank you, Lord. Funny little fact about the second case. The mothers actually said, because you're not allowed to line jump. In other words, you're not allowed to take the spot by walking from the back line up into the line anywhere. They will throw you almost out of the park for doing that, because kids have really done that. The moms realized that was the ordinance there, Kings Island's ordinance, and they actually looked at me and said, "You know what? We're in front of you." They were in between me and the teens, and the mom, the instigator, says, "Would you like your spot back after it cooled down?" And I said, "No, ma'am. You stay right there. You stay right there." And that's how we ascended the final stairway that gets you up to the loft where the coaster train is, the depot. And she just got indignant. I don't know if it was a demonic apparatus that attacked this woman or what, but when the little attendant come and said, "Hey, you can ride next since you're riding by yourself," bye. Just real third grade-ish, real, adolescent. Bye. This was a grown woman. And I just looked at her and said, "Have a good one." And those kids, like I say,
this is another problem. This is another problem I have with America now.
Sorry.
We've created a culture of whining and complaining and turning other people in, and not a culture that doesn't allow the victim.
Feels good in your hand.
In this case, it doesn't. Right, it doesn't allow the victim the right to face their accuser. To
boom.
So
especially if you're a white with Christian all over you.
It's evil what's happening. America is losing touch. It has lost touch completely with its constitutional principles. The Constitution is the highest law of the land. And you were living that by not giving your identity. You were living according to the hierarchy of law.
You got to listen to the report to sue or to pursue or not to sue, because even the young man supervisor says it's an Ohio law. I said it's also the Ohio Constitution and our United States Constitution.
Right.
Yeah. And he admitted
it. Have you decided what you're going to do? Are you going to pursue anything, or
what I'm doing now? What I'm doing now, honestly, Mike, I'm doing as God gives me these increments. I have talked to an attorney. I have, but I want to leave things at last resort. I want to give God all the opportunity to heal this with no complications, both on me or on Six Flags. So this is what I'm doing now, and you're more than welcome to come down and join me, guys. I wish I would have brought my sign in. I made a sign, Mike, that says this on the front. It says, does, please follow me on this, everyone, because you're like, you don't know for sure, Busman. I know. That's why I said, does Kings Island, hate Christ? It appears so. And then in a circle with a slash through it, it says King of Kings. Now, when you flip it around, Mike, it says this: Seasons Pass holder, banned for life, / King of Kings. So I go out there. I've been out one time. I went on a busy day. I went out and it was amazing, the looks that I got. I didn't get any support, though, from the big mega church that was right behind me. Nobody came over and said, "Hey, what's your name? What are you doing? What? I see you got a sign here protesting Kings Island."
You won't get any support from that church.
Heartbreaking. It's like the people who won't come down to your march. The men that says, "You know what? I'm not going down there and walking with Mike Heath and everybody else to save babies." Why is that, Mike? Riddle me that, please.
Well, it's because Christianity doesn't have any soul anymore in the West. There's no soul to it. There's no heart to it. There's no passion to it. There's no willingness to be martyred for the truth in Western Christianity. It doesn't exist unless you put it through a political filter, political lens,
Sure.
and then Christianity has a role to play. For example, Christianity is now pro-sodomy, as you know, because of Donald Trump. Donald Trump loves homosexuals. And that's the version of Christianity that is now being most passionately defended.
It's a kindler, gentler Christianity.
Yeah. They've super weaponized it since Charlie Kirk's the incident with Charlie Kirk. Since whatever happened there, it's been this is what I'm talking about right now. To answer your question, it's been weaponized. Religion, Christianity, Western Christianity has been weaponized against truth. I may have lost your audio. You still
No,
there?
I shut it down because I didn't want any background noise going to your podcast.
But anyway, that's my answer to your question. That's my answer to your question.
That's one of the best I've ever heard, Mike. So thank you for that. Yeah, I just don't understand it. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for being an American Christian. I mean, it's an American as apple pie to go and stand with a sign when you've been aggrieved.
Yes,
as an individual American, and the incident raises a lot of really important questions for the public to consider. So I applaud your efforts here, and I applaud your use of Rumble to tell the story. And I think that's your most potent weapon, by the way, is the internet and the truth. You know, it's the most potent weapon is the truth. What happened and why?
Right. That's why I was glad that you called me to come on your podcast, Mike, so that I could explain the intricate details, of what actually caused the swatting. And thank you for giving me your platform, Mike.
Appreciate it. And I think what is it? Is it Kings Island? I think what Kings Island needs to do is review its policies. And one simple change that it could require is that if you're going to accuse somebody of something, if you're going to go to the private security people, then you're going to have to put your name on it. You're going to have to defend what you're saying. You're going to have to be willing to stand behind what you're saying with the person you're accusing. So
that's a novel idea. Now, this is what I submitted to him after the first incident. Let me get your take on this, Mike. So I contacted him and then said, hey, because I'm thinking Proverbs 20, everything that I do, I devour this word. I'm a Bible geek. Every Bible should be read, even if it's this color. And so many people don't, so they don't know what game plan to put forth in their life when things like this happen. So Proverbs 18, Mike, contains two separate verses that basically tell the world this straight from God's mouth to our mortal ears. Give the other guy a chance to speak before you make a conclusion. Two separate verses in just one chapter of the 66 books. And so I decided, hey, Martin, this is what you ought to do. Contact the staff and tell them, hey, can I face my accusers? Can I talk to the young man who said, oh, I thought you were, but, okay, thanks. And I got swatted. Oh, ladies, hey, let me explain it to you even more, since obviously we didn't have it right when the kids said, hey, can we ride with you? Which I thought was such a God move. These kids that were younger than the teen says, we want to ride with you. Maybe it was because of the way I looked. I don't know. But I was wearing, Christian stuff. Maybe they were Christians. I don't know. But they had a great time, by the way. And I got swatted. And I'm like, what's going on, Lord? This is crazy. No police. For the record, podcast, Mike Heath podcast, there was no police involved in either of these. So if there was, you knew the beard did something inappropriate, wouldn't you? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. But they was like, give us your name, give us your ticket status, or you're out. So that means, and I read the terms and conditions. I want to caution you guys. We talked about it. Watch to pursue or not to sue. I bring this up in the interrogation. Who reads, ladies and gentlemen, watching Mike Heath right now, who reads the terms and conditions before you click the button so that you can get your season pass or, go to the website and, or order something from Amazon or whatever? Who reads that?
So I'll put the link. Yeah, I'll put the link to your video in the show notes at michaelheath.tv.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike.
You've been great to keep going after not sleeping all night.
I think it's the anointing. It's Proverbs 31. If you read Proverbs 31, that woman never stopped. I mean, she was selling things, and then she was coming home, and she was making, baking bread for her servants and her husband and her kids. She was an amazing woman. I think it's an anointing that comes upon people who are truly following God, wrestling their sin, and living righteously. Because I just love people now. I love to minister the gospel, and that's what I've been doing.
Well, God bless you, Martin Buskman, for being on MSH Live this morning so early after staying up all night and telling us the story of Kings Island. So I'll put the video in the show notes, and God bless you and have a great weekend. All right.
God bless you too, Mike Heath. Hey, like and subscribe Mike's channel. He's doing an awesome job. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.
God bless you. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in today. And I'm headed for Boston. If you're near Boston, you want to join us 11 o'clock and go check out the website. And we'll see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.